Hey, so good morning. Welcome to another review session. At this time, we'll be answering 10 questions each for the upcoming board exam, TLTVE, which focus on the area electricity. Sa ibang video ko, ako ay gaganito din or magte-take ng rationalization, focusing on other subjects. But right now, we'll be having this electricity as our first video for this year. Okay, so let's start. What happens to the resistance of a wire as its length increases? Okay, so ulitin ko yung tanong. What happens to the resistance of a wire as its length increases? Now, understanding the concept of electricity, we have four quantities, tama? So, no nakaraan, I have already discussed this that there are four quantities in terms of electricity. Namely, we have current, okay, we have voltage, we have resistance, and power. Okay? Yan. So, in understanding this, current is the amount of electrons present in a conductor. Again, repeat. Current is the amount of electrons present in a conductor. Voltage is the push or pressure which makes the electrons move. Okay? Kaya sa Ohm's law, that the current is always proportional with the value of voltage, since the amount of current will be then pushed by the same amount or pressure pressed by this voltage. And last would be in resistance in the Ohm's law, which in contrast or what we call that inverse proportionality within this three, because resistance from the word itself resist, diba? It limits, it opposes, it decreases, or it declines the amount of current or voltage passing through a conductor. And last but not the least is the power, wherein power is the amount of doing work. But on this question, it clearly defines resistance. So pag sinabi natin resistance, it is the force that opposes, limits, decreases, um, resist the amount of current or voltage present or flowing in a certain conductor. So now, there are lots of factors considering resistances. First is the length, and the second is yung ating AWG number, right? So on this part, we have length, wherein you have to understand that the longer the wire, okay, the longer the wire, therefore it increases the resistance. It increases its resistance. Why? Because kapag malayo yung tinatakbo, therefore bumabagal or humihina. And some such cases, maraming obstructures or obstacles na pwedeng daanan ng electricity. So, paglayo niyan, pagtaas ng resistance niyan. Longer, it increases the resistance. You have to remember that. But shorter, it decreases the resistance. Okay? Mas mababa naman ngayon yung resistance niya. So, this is shorter. Why? Let's say for example, pagtakbo ninyo, mas mabagal ang pagtakbo ninyo kapag or bumabagal ang takbo ninyo kapag malayo yung inyong tinatakbuhan. Tama? Therefore, mas mataas yung resistance doon. Pagbaba or pagliit naman ng kailangan yung takbuhin from point A to point B, andun na agad kayo. Therefore, walang masyadong resistance. Therefore, mababa yung resistance. Therefore, to answer this question, you have, okay, kapag taas daw ng length ng wire, therefore, it increases its resistance level. Okay? So, the answer is, as a wire's length increases, the electrons may encounter obstacles, making it harder for them to flow. That's why there is an increased resistance. Okay? So, for that answer. Now, pag ang tinanong naman sa kanya is yung kapal, now, pag liit ng wire or the thinner the wire, therefore it has higher resistance. But the thicker the wire or pag kapal ng wire, therefore pagbaba naman. resistance. So for this question, we have the letter B as our answer. Letter A po. So sana ay malinaw. Now, proceed tayo with number 2 question. In a parallel circuit, the total current is equal to the sum of the currents in each branch. True or false? Now, remember this one. You have these three types of circuits, right? We have the series circuit, my series, we have parallel. Actually, tatlo. Um, parallel. Parallel. Tatlo yan, but the other one is a series parallel type or a combination type. Now, in terms of in terms of quantifying it or having it based on calculating the current, voltage, and resistance, we only have two types of circuit, the series and parallel. You have to understand it that we have IVT, okay, or IVR rather. IT, VT, RT. IT, VT, and RT. So with this one, you have this I1 is equal to I2 is equal to I3. This one naman is VT is equal to plus V1 plus V2 plus V3. Okay? So, this one naman is RT is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. So lang yung tatandaan nyo dyan, pag series, ito lang una yung pare-parehas. The rest are all addition. Okay po? Now, in parallel, kabaligtaran naman siya ng series. Why? Kasi kung yung IT niya is equal, dito ay plus. Okay? I1 plus I2 plus I3. Dito naman, kung ang VT niya ay addition, kabaligtaran mo yan. Gagawin mo siyang VT is equal to V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V3. Okay? So, sa resistance naman, we have different formulas regarding that. RT, we have same value. If all the resistances have the same value, we can use the formula R over N. If there are two values, we can use the formula product over sum or R1 times R2 over R1 plus R2. And for a more or three or more values presented, we can use the formula 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3. In regards with the question, in a parallel circuit, therefore, we would be focusing on this. The total current, question is current, is equal to the sum of all currents. Is equal to the sum. So, are we going to say it true or false? Therefore, our answer here is this one. It's ultimately, and talagang masasabi natin yan na yan ay, ano po, that answer is true. Okay? So, sana nakuha itong mga formulas na ito. Talaga to, pag kumuha ka ng. Number 3. What safety device interrupts the flow of current if it becomes dangerously high? Okay? So, we are currently focusing on here is what we call electric protective devices. We have fuse, we have circuit breaker, and we have the main switch. Okay? So these three are all electric protective device, but these three are distinct with each other. However, the fuse and the circuit breaker are not being operated manually. Okay, yun yung kagandahan dito sa dalawang ito. Why? Because fuse, it automatically melts. Ito yung hahanapin ninyo. Automatically melts. Ito yung hahanapin ninyo pag pag tinatanong sa board exam, what safety device or what electronic protective device or electrical protective device that if it sends a short circuit or the current flows too high, it automatically melts itself, therefore that's a fuse. But if the question is a symbol, so the symbol is just like this one. Para siyang letter S. Okay? Yan. Now, for a circuit breaker, it automatically trips. Okay? It automatically trips. Ibig sabihin, bumababa yan. Kasi yung fuse, it's consumable. Kapag siya nag-automatically melts, therefore, itatapon na siya. Okay? So, hindi na yung magagamit. Pero ang circuit breaker, itaas mo lang ulit, okay na yan. Okay? So, ang circuit breaker naman natin, para sa letter C. Okay, pero inverted. Inverted? Okay, kabaliktad. Okay, yan. Now, and we have the main switch, but the main switch is, it does not automatically because these are manually operated. Okay, yan yung ibinababa natin kapag gustong-gusto natin to make sure that there is no electricity present in a whole area while doing some such other works like maintenance or repair. Okay? So, yan yung mga pwede natin puntahan. Now, we are looking for the safety devices. Therefore, a safety devices here is only the fuse, right? Because switch, capacitor, and resistor, this capacitor and resistor are part of electronics, right? Since electronics capacitor, it stores electricity temporarily. Resistor, it resists the amount of flow of electrons. And the switch is a type or a part of the electrical circuit which is responsible for on and off the entire circuit. So, kumbaga dito pa lang malalaman agad natin that the answer here is the fuse. Okay? Number 4, a light bulb is rated at 60 watts and 120 volts. What is the current flowing through the bulb? Now, ang tanong sa atin is current. We can use the formula. Ako ginagamit ko personally is always the pi or it's either the air. Okay? For some other who are yet familiar, letter P stands for where? Okay? P stands for power. I stands for current or measured in amperes. Yan. E stands for voltage, which is always measured in volts. And another R, or the R is, this is volts, and this is measured in ohms, which is resistance. Okay, I don't have to explain it kasi napaliwanag ko na sa kanina. Now, using this formula, we are looking for the current, rather. Current, we can use the formula I, yan, either P over E or E over R. Now, syempre hindi mo alam kung ano yung gagamitin mong formula dyan, you have to look at the values presented. What values? We have 60 watts. Okay, 60 watts and 120 watts. And watts is considered as power. Yan, watts yan. This is the, this is what we called the rate of doing work or measured in watts or kilowatts. Okay? So, within this formula or within these values, 60 watts is presented as power and 120 volt is presented as voltage. Therefore, this satisfies the given values. I is equal to P over E, right? Where P is 60 and E is 120. So, alam naman natin, tinuro ko na sa inyo, kung alin yung nasa taas, yan yung nasa loob, at kung alin yung nasa baba, yan yung nasa labas. 60 and this is 120. You can't have 60 or you can't have 120 from 60. Therefore, mangungutang tayo. And pag nangutang ka, you have to add yan, 0 and point. Now, you can give 120 from 600, but how many? So, we can use mathematics, 120, ang 4 ay 480, ang 5 ay, syempre yan ay 600. Therefore, that is 0.5 ampere. So, our answer for number 4 is letter A. Is letter A. Okay, number 5. Which material is a good conductor of electricity? There are two materials, conductor and insulator. Okay, conductor and insulator. So pag sinabi natin conductor, it permits, it allows, and it conducts. Ibig sabihin, hinahayaan niya yung electricity to flow into that material. So good example of that, we have three. These are in rank. We have the best for silver. We have for the common as copper. Common pero good conductor siya. And we have the gold as the third. Okay, these are the rank of conductors. First, second, and third. No. So now, an insulator, it does not allow, kabaliktaran siya, does not allow, it does not, it resists, it does not permit, or it does not conduct. So yung insulator, ginagamit natin siya for insulating some other portions of the wires or uninsulated wires, such as pwedeng gumamit tayo ng plastics, electrical tape, and etc. Those are examples of insulator. And also, insulators are good type of what we call PPE, 'di ba? Tulad ng rubber. So, these are PPEs that are made from insulator para hindi tayo mag-conduct ng electricity. Therefore, plastic are insulator, rubber are insulator, copper is a good conductor, and wood is also an insulator. Therefore, we have the answer letter C. Okay, so ang sagot natin dito ay letter C, copper. 6. What happens to the brightness of a light bulb when the voltage is increased? Okay, ulitin natin. What happens to the brightness of the bulb when the voltage is increased? Ano daw yung mangyayari sa liwanag ng bombilya kapag pinataas natin yung kanyang voltage? A, sa kaya ay mababawasan. B, it increases or madadagdagan, mas liliwanag pa. C, it remains constant or wala namang mangyayari. And D, depende kung ano yung type ng bulb na gagamitin. What do you think is the answer in that? So this refers to the voltage and brightness. Diba? Alam naman natin na kapag nag-increase ka ng voltage, therefore, there are more electrons or there are more energy so that this force, we know that voltage is the force which makes the electrons move. Therefore, pag mas malakas, mas maganda yung kanyang force, making it more to produce light. Therefore, our answer here is letter B. It increased. Pagtaas ng voltage, therefore, pagdami ng amount of atoms na kaya niyang itulak. Therefore, pagganda ng kanyang pwedeng ibigay na liwanag. 7, what is the unit of measurement for electrical resistance? So, resistance. So, therefore, that is letter C. That's ohm. Ampere is for current. B is voltage. C is resistance. And D is power. Okay. Our answer here is letter C. What type of circuit has only one path for the current to flow? Isa lang ang path. Yan ay series or parallel. Therefore, dalawa lang naman yan. We have the series and we have parallel. Now, for a complete circuit, draw lang tayo. So, we have here the battery. We have here the switch. We have here the loads. Loads. Yan. So, this is a series circuit. One, let us draw a parallel. Ayan. So, ang sinasabi sa atin is one path. Ibig sabihin, iisa yung dadaanan ng kuryente. Therefore, there is only one path. Considering the diagram, we all know that this is a series circuit, right? So, what are the words na pwede nating tandaan pag tinanong sa atin, series circuit, connected like a chain? It is an end-to-end. It's an end-to-end connection. It is dependent, and if one current or if one bulb is defective, the other loads will be affected. Yan. Now, for parallel naman, this is a side-by-side connection. Okay, this is independent. And if one bulb is defective, the other loads will not be affected. Therefore, to answer number 8, our answer here is letter B. It is series circuit. Okay? Ayan. So, kumbaga, dito is 1. Dito naman sa parallel ay multiple. Ay multiple. Multiple line. Kasi dito ay isa, dito naman meron pang dadaanan. Meron dito, and the rest of the bulbs. That's why they are independent. Number 9, a step-up transformer increases the voltage but decreases the current. This is true or false? Ang sabi dyan ay isang step-up transformer. As the voltage increases, the current decreases. Is it true or false? So what's our answer? Ayan. So, you have to remember that in a step-up transformer, dalawa kasi yan eh, we have the step up and we have the step down. We have the step up and we have the step down. Para saan ba yan? From a transformer kasi is used, for example, when generating amount of electricity coming from a what we call primary source of energy, it will be harnessed by the different factors on how we can harness them. So for example, a true use of mechanism is important of harnessing that amount of energy through the use of what we call the generator. The generator will be going to create the electricity, and that electricity will be then increases by a transformer, then throughout hanggang sa transmission lines papunta sa mga bahay-bahay, ang trabaho na is not to step up but to step down naman. Okay, kasi kumbaga dun sa una, step up natin para palakasin yung amount of electricity so that it will be maka-distribute tayo ng mas marami at mas malayo yung mapuntahan niya. Pero as papunta na sa mga community, papunta na sa mismong vicinity or sa area, you have to step down the amount of electricity para kayanin naman nung mga for example devices or electronic gadgets and some other appliances in the houses. Now, step up yung kanyang yung kanyang secondary winding ay mas marami sa primary winding, which is kabaliktaran ng step down, wherein the primary winding is much larger or mas marami kumpara sa kanyang secondary winding. Now, the question is, kapag ba tayo ay nag-increase ng voltage, magbababa ba ng current? The answer dyan ay false. Why? As the current increases, dapat yung voltage mag-increase din. Okay? Alam naman natin yan, in the Ohm's law, that the Ohm's law refers to a coherent or a connection of the voltage and the current wherein they are directly proportional with each other. Hindi pwedeng mataas si current, mababa si voltage. Dapat sila ay proportion. Ano po? Therefore, pagtaas ng voltage, dapat pagtaas din ng current. And that's why the answer here is false. Okay? At last, when working with electrical circuits, what safety precaution should you think or should always, lagi dyan, always take first? A. Wear safety glass. B. Use insulated tools. C. Turn off the power source. And D. All of the above. So this can be answered by our mere observations or in a real life basis that in any in any electrical installation or maintenance, you have to wear safety glass, you have to use insulated tools, and first and foremost, you have to turn off the power source through tripping the main circuit breaker or manually tripping off the circuit or the main fuse. So therefore, our answer here is all of above. Lahat yan ay kinakailangan nyo. So, thank you very much. We'll be talking more of this on our next video. Okay po. So stay tuned and